Wolves do not howl at the moon. That single idea, woven into our stories and movies for generations, is one of the biggest myths in the animal kingdom. We imagine a lone wolf, its head tilted back, singing a lonely song, to a full bright moon. It is a powerful image, but it's not the truth. The real story of why wolves howl is far more interesting. It is a story about family, communication, survival in the wild. This ancient sound is not a tribute to a celestial body. It is a vital tool that holds a wolf pack together and keeps them safe. The image is iconic. A lone wolf, its head thrown back, its haunting call echoing under the light of a full moon. But how much of this picture is fact, and how much is fiction? In this exploration, we will journey deep into the world of the wolf, to uncover the secrets behind this incredible animal's most famous and misunderstood call. We'll separate folklore from field science, peeling back layers of myth that have shrouded this creature for centuries. To get to the heart of the matter, we will answer 3 important questions people often ask. Do wolves actually howl at the moon? What does the rigorous science of animal behavior tell us about the true purpose of howling? And finally, a question born from deep admiration. Can a person ever truly become part of a wolf pack? This last question is a powerful dream for some, a fantasy of bridging the gap between human and wild. But the reality is far more complicated and requires a profound respect for the unbreachable boundaries between our world and theirs. So, let's leave the spooky stories and romanticized notions behind. It is time to step into the real world of the wolf, listening to what decades of careful science and patient observation have taught us. We'll discover that the truth, grounded in biology and ecology, is infinitely more captivating than any myth. Let's get straight to the point. The idea that wolves howl at the moon is a complete and total myth. Despite countless hours of observation by wildlife biologists, there is absolutely no scientific evidence that links lunar phases to howling frequency or intensity. Researchers have meticulously logged howling events against celestial calendars, finding no correlation whatsoever. Wolves are active around the clock and will howl whenever the need arises, during the bright light of day, at the gentle transition of dusk, or in the deepest dark of the night. Whether the moon is full, new, or a tiny sliver in the sky, its presence is simply a coincidence. The moon is just part of the backdrop. So why do they point their muzzles toward the sky? A wolf does not look up at the moon and feel a sudden mystical urge to sing. Their reasons are entirely practical, rooted in social bonding and territorial communication. The upward tilt of the head has nothing to do with what's in the sky, and everything to do with the science of sound. Wolves howl to send sound as far as possible. To do this, they instinctively use their environment and their own anatomy to their advantage. They often find a high point, like a ridge or a small hill, to act as a natural broadcasting tower. From there, they tilt their head up, aiming the muzzle skyward. This posture is crucial. It straightens the vocal tract and directs the sound waves up and out, helping them carry over obstacles like dense trees and across vast valleys, reaching other wolves that can be miles away. If the moon happens to be in that direction, human observers might mistakenly link the two. Think of it this way: if you need to shout to a friend across a wide open field, you instinctively lift your head to project your voice. You are not shouting at a passing cloud. You're simply using basic acoustics to be heard. A wolf does the same, but for much more vital reasons. It's about pure physics and effective long-distance communication. The moon is just a silent, beautiful bystander to a complex social drama. The real story isn't in the sky, it's in the intricate lives of the pack on the ground. The myth is easy to picture, a simple and dramatic image, but the truth, based on the mechanics of sound and the social needs of a highly intelligent animal, is far easier to prove and infinitely more fascinating. The myth of wolves howling at the moon is ancient, with roots stretching back thousands of years. Early civilizations lived closer to nature. The night was a time of fear and uncertainty, darkness held unknown dangers, and the wolf's howl cut through the silence. Ancestors linked that eerie sound to the most visible object in the night sky: the moon. Ancient folklore and mythology are full of those connections. For many, the moon governed tides, seasons, even human behavior, so it seemed logical it might influence creatures of the night. Roman and Norse mythology carried the wolf and moon image through generations. In the Middle Ages, fear and superstition grew. Wolves became symbols of evil, and werewolf tales under the full moon cemented the link. Gothic literature, horror stories, Hollywood films, and modern fantasy kept repeating the image. It is visually striking and emotionally powerful, so the story was simply too good to let go. Even though science has shown it is not true, repetition kept the myth alive. So if wolves aren't serenading the moon, what's the real story behind their iconic howl? The answer is far more complex and fascinating. The primary reason is communication, a sophisticated long-distance language that is essential for their survival. It's their original wireless network, connecting them across vast and challenging landscapes. A wolf pack's territory can be enormous, sometimes spanning hundreds of square miles. In such a vast wilderness, members inevitably get separated while hunting or patrolling the borders. A howl becomes an incredibly effective lifeline, a vocal beacon to locate one another and regroup. The sound's reach is remarkable. In open, flat terrain, a single howl can travel for 6 to 10 miles. However, dense forests, hills, and even weather conditions can muffle the sound, requiring wolves to adjust their position or intensity. By howling, a wolf is essentially sending out a GPS ping. "I'm over here! Where are you?" But this isn't just a simple shout into the void. Each wolf possesses a unique vocal signature, a distinct voice defined by its pitch, timbre, and duration. Using spectrographs, scientists can visually identify individuals by their howls, and more importantly, wolves themselves can instantly distinguish a familiar packmate from a potentially hostile rival. Beyond simple location sharing, howling is a powerful way to reinforce social bonds. It's often called the pack's social glue, a ritual that reaffirms their connection and shared purpose. After a successful hunt, or upon waking in the morning, the pack often engages in a group howl. This chorus isn't just noise, it's a ceremony that reinforces their togetherness and collective identity as a family unit. Imagine the scene. The alpha male stands, stretches, and lets out a long, low, foundational howl. A moment later, his mate joins in, her voice weaving in at a higher pitch. This is a classic duet, the cornerstone of the pack's song. Soon, every voice joins the chorus, each wolf carefully selecting a different note to avoid acoustic interference. This creates a complex, layered harmony that echoes across the frozen landscape, a powerful song of unity, not loneliness. A howl is also an unambiguous statement of ownership, a vocal fence post. It's a clear warning to neighboring packs. This territory is occupied and defended. This auditory illusion is a clever survival tactic. By each howling on a different pitch, a small pack can create the impression of a much larger, more formidable group, an effective and energy-efficient way to intimidate rivals and avoid violent, costly conflicts. Packs regularly patrol their boundaries, reinforcing their claim not just with howls, but with scent markings. This combination of signals creates a multi-sensory border, auditory graffiti that signs their name across the entire landscape. Finally, a howl can serve as a rally cry. Before a hunt, a chorus can gather scattered members, psych up the team, and synchronize their strategy. It's the wild equivalent of a huddle before the big game. From locating family to defending territory and strengthening bonds, the howl is a multi-tool for survival. Their very existence depends on this remarkable level of cooperation, and the howl is the instrument that orchestrates it all. While a howl carries far, wolves have a whole vocabulary for different situations. For immediate threats, like a bear near a den or a human too close, they use barks or bark howls, a sharp call that shifts into a short howl. It communicates both alarm and the need to locate each other. Danger! Everyone report in. Growls and snarls maintain order and prevent fights. Whimpers and whines signal submission, excitement, or care, especially from pups. This close-range language preserves hierarchy, reduces conflict, and keeps the family running smoothly. Every sound has a purpose, you know. The dream of running with wolves, of being accepted into their wild family, is a powerful and romantic notion, fueled by ancient myths and modern stories. It speaks to a deep-seated desire to reconnect with the untamed world. However, this alluring fantasy must remain in our imaginations. The simple, unequivocal answer is no. A human cannot join a wolf pack. Their intricate social structure, communication, and survival instincts are worlds apart from our own. There are critical legal, ethical, and safety reasons for this boundary. Wolves are wild apex predators, not domesticated dogs. Their behaviors are governed by millennia of evolution, not by a capacity for human companionship. A wolf that feels threatened by an unfamiliar presence, or worse, has lost its natural fear of people, can be incredibly dangerous and unpredictable. Approaching a pack in the wild is a life-threatening gamble. Furthermore, harassing, capturing, or attempting to tame wild wolves is illegal in most places, because it inevitably harms both people and the wolves themselves. Human interference disrupts vital activities like hunts, the raising of young, and the pack's complex, social bonds. This habituation to humans often ends badly, usually for the wolves. While you cannot join a pack, you can connect with these magnificent animals safely and ethically. Visiting a reputable sanctuary or wildlife refuge is a fantastic way to learn from experts and see wolves up close in a secure environment. Your support directly provides food, shelter, and essential veterinary care. For a wilder experience, join guided tours led by qualified naturalists. They know how to locate wolves without disturbing them, allowing you to observe from a safe, respectful distance. Remember to bring binoculars or a spotting scope, and always follow the principle of leave no trace. Ultimately, the most profound way to honor wolves is to become their advocate. Educate yourself and others about their crucial role as a keystone species, with ripple effects that strengthen entire ecosystems. Support conservation efforts that focus on coexistence and the protection of their natural habitats. This is how we truly run with wolves, by ensuring they have wild spaces left to run in.